BSBOPS502, which is the operational plans. Under the Learner Assessment Pack tab, so if you scroll right down to the bottom, and you can see the arrow goes up and down as you click on it. So we have our assessment pack. Here you have some, well, there's our short answer questions here. We also have the assessment tips for the project, which is a video and a summary sheet for the project. And the assessment pack is where the project details are contained. But we're going to click on the left-hand side here, the knowledge assessments short answer questions. So 3 attempts allowed, and because I've already clicked on it previously, we have, it says continue your attempt, so I've already started. It'll say start attempt if it's your first go at it, or if you're logging in for the first time. We have a navigation bar on the side, so you can skip to questions if you've done the first few and then gone on to save it and come back later. You can click on whichever question you're up to here. Finish attempt is when you're finished the actual assessment and ready to submit. So we're going to click on question 1 down here. Just above that, though, we have the scenario that you'll be using for all of the questions. So Bounce Fitness is the premier provider for fitness and wellness in Australia. So you can have a look at that. It gives you a bit of a background. For this assessment, though, for question 1, you're the current centre manager for Bounce Fitness in Brisbane. Your operational plan will require the recruitment of new fitness instructors. You must also seek feedback about whether the operational plan will be actionable and realistic. To assist you in completing this task, you can access the job descriptions, which will bring up all of the job descriptions for Bounce Fitness. And you're going to identify one of each of the following stakeholders. So a colleague and a specialist resource manager. And it explains that there. So someone who can help you take charge of assigning resources and budgets. So have a look at the job descriptions and you put the details of the colleague, the job title there, and the specialist resource manager, and a description of how they'll be involved with the development of the operational plan. So you'll need more than one sentence here because it is diploma levels, so you're probably looking at a few sentences, at least 3 or 4. Now we're going to skip to question 2. So I'll click on the navigation and it brings up question 2. So for question 2, again, you're the centre manager for Brisbane, and this time you're going to access the job descriptions and identify a stakeholder involved in the management of the operational plan. So the first question was the development, and now we're looking at managing the plan. So it's going to be a colleague and someone who can be involved with the as a specialist resource manager for your operational plan. These may or may not be the same as in the previous question. They might be different, or they could be the same, but you're going to write a bit of a description on how they will be involved in the management of the plan. Question 3. So this one is the creation of your plan. So escalation points. Have a look at maintaining transactional records and policies and procedures here. So you'll have a click on that and explain the involvement in the escalation points in the following phases. So developing it and managing it. So be able to click on here and again type in your responses. I'm not going to actually submit this, but it just gives you an idea on how it works. Question 4, so we can either use the navigation or scroll down. Question 4 is to assist you in completing it, you can have a look at the links on the Bounce Fitness homepage, and you've got a scenario here. So have a look through that. There's two scenarios, scenario 1 and scenario 2, and you'll be identifying resource requirements, sources of information, and an explanation of why that source is key. You're looking at a few here, 1 and 2. So a bit of research involved in that one. And it's how the sources are going to be key to presenting your proposal. Question 5. Explain the organisation's existing consultation process that helps in managing your operational plan. So these are the steps and guidelines. So you'll be able to find information on that in the Bounce Fitness area. And you'll be looking at the steps. So you can either do this as a few paragraphs, or you can do it as actual steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3, and list those out there. Question 6 is the different parts of the operational plan. So the procurement process, employee recruitment induction strategies, physical resources and service acquisition strategies, and key indicators of organisational performance. So these are the parts of the operational plan, and your description goes here. So examples have been provided for you. So you can see how you've got it here, parts of the operational plan and description. Question 7 is answer the following questions about budgets and the actual financial information using your own words. So if you do some research, make sure you put it in your own words. Define variances in budget and actual financial information. Describe how the organisation can use variances to monitor profit, and describe how the organisation can use variances to review productivity and performance. So you can pop your answers underneath, or you can go down a bit further and do A and answer A here, B, answer B here, and obviously C as well. Question 8 is about preparation methods. You'll find a lot of the information for 7 and 8 in the chapters here. So you can go back and have a look at some of the information that you've been reading about before you attempt the quiz. So identify a method for preparing operational plans. Describe the identified method in your own words, and identify a method for preparing contingency plans, and then describe that in your own words as well. Question 9, you're going to be looking at the Bounce Fitness again and the business objectives and KPIs, or key performance indicators. Identify 2 objectives that are related to your operational plan, and explain how the operational plan can help Bounce Fitness achieve those objectives. So here's your 2 business objectives here. So 1, and then we type in our own words, and you're probably going to need at least 3 or 4 sentences or a paragraph for that response there. Question 10. You can access these links below. So you've got your performance management policy and procedures, and your documentation policies and procedures. So outline a set of procedures for each, performance management and the documentation policy procedures, and 1 type of record associated with each of them. So procedures here and records here. Question 11 is Bounce Fitness Brisbane has the following objectives. So generate 10% increase in sales through boosting gym membership sales, and lower the cost of service by 1% a quarter. So the centre will find appropriate approaches for developing the KPIs, and would prioritise working with teams and predictive measurements. So identify 2 approaches for developing the KPIs. the alternatives must correspond to what the management is looking for. So you can identify those there. Question 12. Again, Centre Manager for Bounce Fitness Business, and we are going to access these here. We're looking at some different legislations, and you're going to answer the questions. Identify a rule from each of the legislation sections that relates to developing your plan. Identify one right from each legislation and an obligation. And you have it here, so fair trading, work health and safety, and you can pop the details in there for question 12. Question 13. So you're looking at the regulation, the rule in there, and how it relates to the implementation of your plan. Question 14. You can have a look at the links in the Bounce Fitness website again, and identify 2 policies and procedures related to your organisational plan. So we've looked at the legislation and the regulations, and now we're looking at the policies and procedures. And the final question, you have 2 scenarios, and looking at the different workplace practices, one from each scenario, and how they relate to your operational plans. And then when you finish, you can either click Finish Attempt at the bottom of the screen here, the big blue button, or over on the right-hand side with the quiz navigation, you can click Finish Attempt. So Finish Attempt. And then don't forget to, it tells you if the answers are not answered yet or answers are saved. Obviously, I haven't quite finished them all. But even though you've clicked Finish Attempt, for it to be submitted for your trainer to mark and assess, Submit All and Finish. Click that button there. And that's the end of it.